Hello, everybody. What's going on? My family. Hope you're well. Hope you're happy. Hope you're chilling and vibing. Welcome to the Vibe Time. Fun Vibe Time sesh. It's a Brent Pella show, episode 60-something. I've said the number wrong so many times that I'm just going to start saying 60-something or 70-something for everything because I just am forgetting and I'm not doing good at it. But you know who is doing good? Comedian Adam Ray. That's my boy. It's my homie. It's my homie. Yep, it's my homie. It's a homie. Homie. It's my homie, Adam Ray. Adam is a hilarious comedian. He cruised over to hang and chat and vibe and chill. And, you know, Adam is one of the guys I looked up to when I was starting to do stand-up in LA. He was a couple classes ahead of me. So it was super cool to get to know him a little better. And we've done some videos together already. We've chilled. We've written some stuff. But it's nice to sit in front of somebody and force them to speak at you because I love listening to that. When it's a person that I really love and really respect and look up to and admire. And that's this dude. He's an awesome dude. This episode of the podcast brought to you by Bioptimizers, Magnesium Breakthrough. Pretend like I'm holding them in my hand right here. Here comes Brent's terrible podcast ad reads. Magnesium Breakthrough. Do you have a shitty body? Try some magnesium. Huh? Magnesiumbreakthrough.com/Brent Pella to get a discount and a free copy of the most condensed and knowledge-filled book on health that I personally have ever read. It's called It's called The Biological Optimization Blueprint. And Bioptimizers will send you the book for free when you order the Magnesium Breakthrough Supplement, which is all 7 types of magnesium that the body can digest, helps with muscle recovery, relaxes your muscles, and does a bunch of other awesome, fun benefit things that you should look up. What does magnesium do for my body? Find that out and then order Magnesium Breakthrough at magnesiumbreakthrough.com/Brent Pella and get the free book and also a discount on the product and support the product because they support me. Here we go. Ad number 2 of 2. Podcast also brought to you by Blue Blocks. Blue Blocks. Blue light blocking glasses for when you're staring at your phone or your screen or your TV or your laptop and you don't want all that artificial blue light messing with your vibes, dude. Messing with your freaking corneas. You want to have sick corneas, dude. I got sick corneas. I hope you guys have sick corneas. If you want your corneas to be super sick, grab a pair of Blue Blocks. Get 15% off at blueblocks.com/Brent. That is BLUBLOX.com/Brent. Ads over. Guys. How you doing? You good? You're chilling, right? I'm chilling. Summer is upon us, and the high vibes are going to continue. Lots of fun things going on. I got shows coming up, baby. I got shows all over the place. Shows for Sacramento. The show in Sacramento is on sale now. Tickets on sale right now. Punchline Sacramento. Look it up. September 8th. It's a Wednesday. Help me sell that bitch out so that they can give me a weekend date. That's how comedy works. You sell a bunch of tickets. They give you a weekend and treat you like the person that you think you are because that's what your ego says. So if you guys show up and show out, then next time I'll come back and we'll party on a weekend. First, we got to party on a Wednesday. You feel me? A bunch of other spots. Cobb's in San Francisco. I don't know if those are on sale yet, but they will be. I'll be out there September 12th. Appleton, Wisconsin, Naples, Florida, New York City, working on it. I think it's Brooklyn. Tempe, Arizona. Ooh, when is that? October. Early October, maybe the 7th, maybe the 9th, I want to say, something like that. BrentPella.com/shows. And hey, drop your city in the comment section of this video. And also go see Adam Ray whenever he's in your city. AdamRayComedy.com. Hilarious stand-up comic, podcaster, does a million things. The guy's an actor, a stand-up comedian, a voiceover artist, a podcaster, a writer. He does it all. He is an awesome dude and a funny dude, and I'm so happy I got to hang with him, and I'm happy that you guys will be able to hang with him too. So please enjoy this episode with my good buddy Adam Ray.
But are you trying to get him to just acknowledge or like have you on as him, or like what's the goal out of the Rogan content?
From everything I've heard about Joe and how he views himself, he doesn't want to be made into a bit.
Yeah.
Like, you know the way in movies where they'll have a scene where like the main actor gets famous and goes on the Fallon show and Jimmy is in the movie as himself?
Yeah.
Like, Joe would never do that, I don't think. Like, I feel like he doesn't want to be a bit. He just wants to be like himself and kind of chill.
He was in not Here Comes the Boom. Or was he in Here Comes the Boom?
Was he?
Yeah, that's what he was in.
No way.
As like the love
Was he
interest.
a bit?
as Kevin James, as the guy that was like dating the girl Kevin James wanted to be with.
Was it like, oh my God, she's dating Joe Rogan?
No.
Or was he like acting?
He was like a guy. He was acting. He was probably fresh off news radio. But he was good as that guy.
Yeah.
And then there was like a whole dance, like tango scene that he had to do. Yeah. It was very, I was like, I wonder if he ever talks about this. And you know, Kevin James produces some quality films.
Yeah. Yeah. I love Kevin James.
Great.
I think he's
underrated.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
But also probably gets his due cred.
Yeah. Yeah.
Had a sitcom for a while.
Yeah. He's doing well.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's got some
good
friends
else is doing
around.
well? Tom Selleck.
Tom Selleck.
Guy's crushing it.
Dude, he's got great hair.
How often do you think about that guy?
Never. It's the first time I've thought about him since I read his name like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
No, dude, Joe's cool. A lot of people think that I hate him. I've gotten a lot of messages from like his angry like fanboy fans.
Of course.
That threaten death, you know, but I got that with Eminem
death?
too. Yeah, they're like, dude, Joe would fucking rip your head off, dude. You better not come out to Nebraska, bro. Don't come out here, dude. Don't bring that shit out to Lincoln.
I was going to say, what's the biggest demo for his fan base?
Probably dudes in their 20s whose dads never really looked him in the eye.
Sure. What about Eminem?
Probably late teen dudes who maybe never knew their dad. There's always a dad thing.
Who would you rather meet? Eminem's dad or Joe Rogan's dad?
Oh, that's a good question. Because
I
feel
you
like
say to them?
Eminem's dad would like look down on me in a way that would make me become the most famous rapper of all time.
Is that where his Spitfire game comes from?
I think it's a lot of things. I think a lot of it was the mom. I don't know anything about his dad.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it was the mom and like his friend group.
That's how the documentary starts, by the way. You
right.
and I go, what does anyone know about Eminem's dad? We take this as the opening and then just hear a voiceover. Like it goes to black.
And then we go on a journey.
And you see a drone shot of Detroit.
Yeah.
And it's you being like, so I set out to find out, you know, it's just one of those classic documentary.
Tilt up to the 8 Mile road sign.
Shows us getting off the airplane, getting our bags.
Yeah.
Eminem's dad.
Yeah. I don't know who Eminem's dad
what makes a good rapper
is
my question too. Like,
yeah,
I know my brother-in-law is a rapper. His
no
name
way.
Is Dirtay. Dirtay. I'm starting to give him more props on podcasts.
He's a professional rapper. Like he raps.
Mentioned him. He opened for DMX in Seattle. He's opened for a lot of big guys.
That's cool.
R.I.P. But he's now full on construction, dad to my nieces and husband to my sister. But
does he still make music?
Yes, he's still got a little studio in the garage and still like lays down CDs
music,
for stuff.
sure.
Yeah, and he's no joke. Look at him. He's got some videos out there that are legit, and you know, some Corolla fans have jumped on board because of my mentions of him. But the first time I went and saw him was definitely like traumatizing but exciting because he like definitely had songs that were like, you know, where I'm like, I don't know if this is about my sister or not, but it seems pretty close. Where he's like, you know, all the bitches in my life gotta get on their knees and suck it with your mouth, pretty, please. And I'm like, that's probably not about her. You know,
yeah.
You know,
that's about his past.
Yeah, and then he's like, her name is Natalie, and her pussy's so sweet. I'm like, there's probably plenty of Natalie's
she's
here
got
tonight.
a brother, and he's a little ass bitch.
Yeah, he's in the back shaking his head. You know, he's a comedian.
That's a funny sketch. That's a funny bit.
We should do it.
Yeah, I'm 100%.
And take his, you know, dude. Yeah.
Yeah,
that is a great sketch.
That's a great sketch.
Great reveal, right? But so, I mean, truly, I was in the back just like, and my mom wanted to go to the show, and I was like, I think you should probably wait a beat, maybe listen to the music while you get a massage and see if you can, you know, enjoy it then.
Yeah.
But I know he's had, to get back to it, a you know, troubled past with family and definitely dad.
Yep.
And kind of mom now too. So I mean, shit,
I don't know any rappers that have really awesome upbringings. I couldn't name one. I'm sure they're out there.
You can't have one, right?
I don't think it's allowed.
Yeah.
Logic didn't have one,
Yeah.
you know, depending on whether or not people think he's a good rapper.
Yeah.
Eminem, Jay-Z, Tupac.
What about Jack Harlow?
Actually, Tupac grew up in kind of a middle class
He did.
world. Yeah, I believe in what is now Silicon Valley, but with a single mom. So like still. Jack Harlow, maybe. I don't know. Jack Harlow. Oh yeah, for sure. Macklemore. Yeah, right? He was good. He was cool.
Nothing was wrong there.
Nah, dude. He had like a balcony on his bedroom.
Yeah.
He was chilling.
The balcony is a good sign for status.
Yeah.
Or a patio. What would you rather have? You have one, don't you?
I'd honestly rather have like a big backyard with grass.
Me too.
So I could have like different things. You could have a grill, a workout station, You know?
You seem like you would crush the backyard game.
Oh, I would have so much fun, dude.
And I think you'd crush it equally as hard as a dad with a backyard, the dad yard, and then the just the guy who's got a first backyard.
Yeah, the first backyard guy.
Because you don't want to fill
always
it up.
inviting friends over.
Always inviting friends over, but also, like you said, workout station, using it for yourself and not just making it a entertaining center.
Right.
Because it's easy to go, cornhole,
Yeah.
volleyball, Fresco machine,
stage if anyone's feeling it.
Yeah. So funny, by
For
the
the
way.
improv jam later.
Dude, I want this to be a creative space. You come over, you have a brat, you hit the Patron.
We're playing bocce at 3.
Bocce at 3.
Yeah.
Open mics at 5. Guess what? You still got to sign up because, not just anyone's coming over.
And
everyone's got the code. Respect the light.
He knows what to do.
Oh, my God. That's also a great sketch.
Yeah.
Open mic that breaks out at the backyard.
That's hilarious, dude.
But maybe there's I don't know if it's if there's a guy that they've been dogging the whole time
at
the barbecue,
and
then he gets up there and he's got fire, but maybe
Yeah.
he just starts roasting everyone, but then maybe it gets oddly personal.
Really angry.
Yeah, really dark at the end.
Yeah.
And maybe all his jokes are about what he's done to people's cars while he's on stage.
And how he pissed in
in
Shayna's
Shayna's
wine.
It's like that time, It's like that time I took a shit and then flushed it today. And I was like, wait, what? Is that why it's broken? Yeah. It reminds me of that guy who had the golden voice. Remember that? Who got picked up?
Yeah. The homeless guy?
Yeah, and he was like the voice of Kraft Mac and Cheese right after that.
Oh, was he really?
Oh, yeah.
I always wondered what happened to him after that because I remember him getting super famous.
Super famous.
Yeah.
Which was I don't want to say it was the first homeless guy to get go viral, but I think it was.
It was up there for sure.
Because it was so mesmerizing that he had this voice and was so. I think anytime too we've seen our fair share of crazy people on the news where they get interviewed like, I found that McNugget and I figured why if I can hold it, it can fit in my asshole. And you're like, that checks out.
Yeah, it's logical.
Yeah. But and they don't have all the teeth and they got a cool hat and a haircut and somehow a debit card. But when you saw this guy, it was like he just had amazing pipes.
Yeah.
So the voice didn't, but he was also so jovial. He had a big fucking smile on his face, and so it was like, wow, he's on such hard times. And I think it was he was on some side of the street where it was you always can see this guy at this.
Yeah, it was like an inner in between
some intersection.
Yeah.
The homeless highway.
Yeah, he had a hell of a voice, dude.
But so Kraft Mac and Cheese picked him up.
Good for him.
And then
I wonder where he is now.
Well, I think he's
probably living in Venice.
No, I think he got back on the heroin train.
Yeah.
And Kraft was like, yo, we don't fuck with this side of the streets, which would have been great if they'd somehow used it and just been showed a picture of him just and I'd be like,
with
it's
cheese
cheesy,
leaking
baby,
out
with
of his veins.
That's
dude.
so
on a
funny.
bus stop, billboard,
That's
as well as
so
friends could be
funny.
like, "Hey, made it." Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my dog.
Hook me up with just a cheese packet, motherfucker.
Hey,
I'll suck your
nephew.
dick.
Hey.
Yeah. What have you done heroin?
No, I haven't. I've been offered multiple times.
You have?
After every show. No,
That's why
I've never been offered.
Okay. I'm always curious.
No.
What,
but I have friends that have. Yeah.
Been offered it or done it?
I've done it. I have a couple friends that have done it a couple times. One friend did it too many times.
You strike me as someone, and I think we share this, where we've got a natural zest for life.
Yeah.
That that we don't need. I enjoy cocktails and pot for sure, but anything really past that, the occasional Tylenol PM, but
sure. I mean, a NyQuil on Tuesdays. Hey,
dude, a
it's
NyQuil
party time, baby.
That was one of my first jokes, by the way. Because,
really?
Oh yeah, just
What'd
because
you say?
It was about how because I would have fucked up dreams on it, and it was before I truly started smoking pot, and not that I have had crazy dreams on pot, more panic attacks, but I was like, I've been having trouble sleeping, so I took some NyQuil, and I was like, and the commercial makes it seem, I was like, they got to change, put some extra warning on the label because the commercial makes it seem so carefree. It's like the nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, stuff you had fever so you can rest medicine. I go, yeah, you can rest after you fucking hallucinate for 45 minutes. I go, holy shit. I go, I couldn't sleep last night. Took 2 of those 2 little green matrix pills. I go, I had a dream I was a cheetah running a daycare. And that got such a big laugh, dude. And I thought I was the best comic to ever touch a mic.
How long did you do that joke before you trashed it? Because that's fun. That's a fun joke.
Oh, yeah. And guess what, dude?
You can bring that back.
We could bring it back.
No.
Probably those first 5 years. That was in the rotation with my Folgers
That's
coffee
a good
joke.
first 5-year bit.
Great, because it's
a great
also
bit.
do it anywhere.
Yep.
without the F-bomb, it's
And it's
remotely
timeless.
clean.
Yeah.
Timeless, yeah.
Yeah.
But,
NyQuil. Astral project your way
yeah.
into a better day.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
But I have truly had some bonkers dreams on it.
Yeah.
I had a dream once on NyQuil that I was going down on Katy Perry.
Nice.
And spoiler alert, it wasn't her.
Yikes.
It was the voiceover guy for mac and cheese. No, it was her. But then I had that ring on my phone, the guitar riff, the dun, 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 dun. And so as I'm doing it, and it's all very real. Like, that's the thing about NyQuil is I want to say, like, I felt I could feel, hear, and taste everything.
Yeah.
So, maybe that should be in the commercial for sure.
Yeah. Dude,
And
if I take NyQuil, I got to clear the next 2 days of responsibilities.
Oh, yeah.
Because I got to get like 5-HTP. I got to get all the same shit people on acid take when they come back from an acid trip.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Do you get offered drugs after shows?
Weed, yeah.
I get offered a lot of drugs after
People
shows.
assume probably your energy, right?
Yeah.
But,
well, dude, I remember the first 3-ish years, and even this still happens today, but the first 3-ish years, it was regular, like at least twice a month. A comic would follow me and be like, "Man, cocaine's a hell of a drug, huh?"
wow.
Or like the host would be like, "Hey, Brent, hook me up with your dealer," or something like that.
Wow.
It was wild. Like they would say it on stage. And I think it's because when I started, I was like, probably trying to make up for not being super funny by being very high energy and like committing really hard, which I still do all the time.
Yeah.
But like there's this like high energy shit, and now I kind of learn how to control it and find the moments, right? That's a process of growing, because at the time I was fucking like, fuck it. And you ever done this and this? And I'm bouncing all over like Robin Williams just hit a meth pipe.
I was gonna say, who were you looking at that was contributing to your influence?
It was a mix of Robin Williams, D'Elia, Jim Carrey's 90s special, and Chris Farley.
Wow.
And it was like all of that
awesome.
Combined. And then I stopped watching D'Elia because people said they were like, "Oh, you're so funny. You remind me of Chris D'Elia."
Oh, yeah.
And I was like year 2 in.
Yeah.
Right now I'm like year 8, so I'm still not super far. But like at year 2, I was like, I don't want to remind anyone of anyone. I want to.
I mean, but to combat that, like everyone's influenced by it. I mean, even Chris Rock, Chappelle from Pryor.
They all took
Eddie.
a cadence from somebody.
Yeah, and everyone,
you're all energy from
you
somebody.
cannot be influenced by it just innately. But I hear you where you're like, all right, well, let me take a step back.
Yeah.
If I'm this early on, but also that makes sense because that's who you like. And those first few years, everyone is emulating because you don't yet have your own point of view.
Right.
So you're like, well, what do I like? And I'm trying to find a stance and a point of view right away because you don't yet maybe have the handle on the grasp or grasp on the handle. Which one is it?
Yeah, you can use
grasp on the handle, I think.
Go, it's a Brent Pella show, dude.
By the way, handle on the grasp.
That's a handle on the grasp, dude. You got a handle on your grasp? How much does that cost? Well, depends on what you're trying to do, buddy.
I like, by the way, you said this is the Brent Pella show. You can say whatever you want. That's a great. If that's not the bumper sticker, or that you now need that sign on the door when you come in. Honestly,
I'm putting it on my front door.
That's great. Dude,
on my front
that's
door.
The Pelicam.
That's the Pelicam. Dude, this is a Brent Pella show. I can have any camera I want, dude.
I love
Come
it,
on.
dude. Yeah. How many cams do we have? Just
we got
a couple?
2. Well, there's a third one, but I'm not going to point it out.
Dude,
did you?
Just in case a prank show idea breaks out,
Right.
and you need to tell me to look there. I've been doing that, by the way. I don't know if you have any go-to like social bits.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
But Nate Bargatze was just in town doing shows, and it's nice too when it happens organically and you go, oh, I've definitely done this before, but it's so sporadic that it feels good. Like you don't want to be.
It feels fresh every time you do it.
If you're the hidden camera guy every time you hang out, right. Where literally like you and I go to lunch and I'm like, and I sit down and you're like, what happened to my fries? I go, Brent, look right over there, dude.
I'm like,
yeah. And then we get in the car and you're like, dude, the seatbelt won't work. And I go, Brent, dude, look right over there, man. That guy sucks.
That guy sucks.
Everyone hates that guy.
Do it every 3.5 months.
Yeah, if that,
Yeah.
And so Nate, we're staying in the back, and he just walked into the circle, myself and 2 other comics hanging out. And he said, like, yeah, it just felt like a good circle, liked it. And then he goes, you guys just kind of stopped talking when I got here. And then he was like, can I take my mask off in the circle? I go, for sure, dude. And then I go, and they took it down. And I go, actually put it back up. And he goes, what? I go, psych, dude, you're on my mask or no mask show. Look right over there. And it was a fun little laugh, but
it was great.
But yeah, if you do that too many times,
many times, you become that guy.
Yeah. Do you have things like that?
Yeah, I'll be watching, depending on where we are, if we're watching like a game or something and we're having like a really serious conversation, like with my friends from home, I do this a lot.
Yeah.
I'll be hanging out with them and we'll be talking about like basketball or like politics or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'll just throw it out into the conversation, be like, yeah, dude, I mean, everybody hates George Bush, but at this point, he's kind of become like a funny figure, I mean, yeah, I'd have sex with him, but you got to, when you're looking at like what he used to do, and I just like slip it in.
Yeah.
And it's kind of this thing because you get it.
They're all not actors or in the business, right?
No, none of them are.
But they know you to be a goof.
They know I'm a goof. They know they're going to get goofed.
Yeah.
And there's a thing where you're in conversation with somebody, you're kind of hypnotized a little bit, right? Because you're in the flow of it.
Yes.
And when you throw something out like that, it kind of breaks your brain.
Yeah.
And so if I say that, even at the end of a sentence, they'll be like, yeah, wait.
Yeah.
What?
yeah. You're like, what? Is it
what?
We'll do. No, and then you skip over that. You're like, what? You don't think the Lakers are going to win it this year?
Right.
Dude,
exactly.
it's not about. Well, look, it's not about LeBron's huge cock, and it's probably a beautiful cock, but it's like the fact that he passes more than you think he's going to.
Yeah.
And I'd make out with Phil Jackson.
Yeah, I'd make out with Phil Jackson. I mean, he's got 11 rings.
Yeah.
Dude, there's a lot of like time and effort and probably hot, sweaty, awesome yoga that he does.
Yeah.
Do you know who did a great thing of that in a sketch?
Phil Jackson impression?
A great Phil Jackson impression.
That was amazing.
Beck Bennett and those guys. Do you remember their Australian boat guy?
Oh, yeah.
That was like talking about sucking on farts?
Yes, dude.
It's so funny.
Every one of their videos is great.
Yeah.
Some are iconic.
I would include that on my iconic sketch videos.
What else? So those guys,
yeah,
were a year below me at USC.
Yeah.
And so, and just always, when they got on SNL, it was just like, duh.
And for anybody listening, this is Beck Bennett and Kyle Mooney.
Yep. And Nick Rutherford and Dave McCrary, part of that Good Neighbor sketch group, which do a YouTube deep dive because
go down that hole.
They were what I think I've told you this, like what I so badly wanted at that time, because I wanted and to be able to have a group that consistently was just down all the time to be doing stuff. Yeah. And then just couldn't find people to do that, so started doing not to the degree you're now doing it, but being consistent. And now I feel like you're very prolific with it.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, dude. I mean,
I wanted that too. It's interesting to see sketch groups pop up that I love. I mean, the Lonely Island are my gods. If there's a Mount Rushmore, is why all those guys are
totally.
on.
Which I think is where that was a perfect swap when they left.
And those guys came in. And I had a buddy that I went to college with my first 2 years of college, and we did a couple of like comedy shorts together and like comedy music videos. And I was like, this could be a thing. Like, cool. It could be us, dude. And it was right when the Lonely Island was popping. Yeah. So in my like early stage mind, I was like, well, they're going to get their run. And then me and my buddy could grow into their spot.
Dude, of course.
And then he stayed in Northern California, got into music. And I kept going and like I found other people to work with here and there, but it never quite gelled into something that turned into like a snowball. You know what I mean? So I kind of like have always stayed solo, not even by choice necessarily, but just by kind of what's happened naturally. But now I'm surrounded by people like you and Aristotle and like all these awesome, insane people that I've looked up to you and Aristotle and people like that for years. Oh, whoa. And so now just to like work with you guys I'm stoked. I'm so excited.
Well, dude, I mean, likewise, man. I mean, it's easy to tell and cut through the bullshit out here and see who's fucking doing it and committed to it and sacrificing is one thing that I always go back to if I'm trying to, have buddies that have moved out here from Seattle and truly just want to pick my brain, or young comics from college that after I was about maybe 10 years in were trying to, how do I get past at the clubs? I'm like, man, you're a month in. Like, there's all these things you need to just be down for the cause for. I was like, I drove to San Diego last night to headline this coffee shop and drove back right after. Drove there, drove back, came back to finish writing a sketch I was going to do the next night after my full day playing Wolverine at Universal Studios. And I was like, would you? And he was like, whoa. He's like, and he immediately found all these reasons to be like, well, I got my job. I got to go to my girl's thing. And then I'm so, and he was just, whatever he was telling me, I was just like, you're just finding things to which will be a consistent pattern for you of like, I can't, dude, I'd love to do what Brent's doing, man, but I don't, it's tough. And also like, and I love too when what's an easy thing to do is to go, but that's not like, like I don't want to do those quick videos. Like that's not my thing. And you're like, oh, you're just trying to talk yourself out of
Dude, you have a landscape of opportunities here, and you're like firing excuses at each one of them.
It's truly about what being in LA is such a. And again, I just had this conversation with my comic buddy Mark. I go, being in LA because we drive back from Arizona doing shows, and I was like, LA's so I can't wait for it to pop off again, which I truly believe it's.
100%. That's why I'm not leaving,
dude. And for the people that are going that aren't $100 million winners, you know, they're good comic friends I know that are going there that are getting opportunities that are stage time wise awesome for at the point they're at in their career. But man, you can't top LA when it's clicking on all cylinders.
No
man.
way, dude.
And the excitement and I love, and I'm sure you dig this too, man, because even just being around you and watching your shit was doing that for me before we started jamming was being in a place where there's a lot of people going for it. There's an energy about that I truly feel like you can feed off of. Like even being in a fucking Jamba Juice and somehow talking to a guy about, you know, and I'm sure you like this too, man, because you're just real personable. Like you can chum it up with someone and you're like, oh, fuck. And even for a day, just get a little pick me up from somebody that's like, yeah, man, whether it's, you know, they saw the video you did and that sparks a conversation and then they're telling you about something they did. You're like, I don't know, man, it's a nice boost.
Did you start in LA?
Yeah.
Did you start comedy in LA?
Yeah, so I did maybe one open mic in Seattle just to say I did it before I got here.
Okay.
And college was 01 to 05 at USC. And I was like, I got to at least do it once before I come down here. That delusional being like, not I'm a comic, but I was like, I don't want to fully have here be the first time because it felt intimidating.
Yeah.
And then it was just all frat parties and... You know, I studied abroad. You
did theater, right? At USC?
Yeah,
was that your major?
Yeah, BFA, yeah.
Did you have a minor or anything, or was it major theater?
I auditioned for the BFA, which is they take 20 kids every year from, you know, 1 billion people. No, it was, there's a lot of kids that audition, and then they take 20 that go through all 4 years together. And if you're auditioning for that program, then acting is truly your main thing. There's no room to minor because the program's so rigorous where they lay out a full curriculum for you Monday through Friday, but you get your own show every semester, so you're always guaranteed to be in a show.
Wow.
Your class shows. So that was great. And the training, you get better professors, you get more of it because you're making that your sole thing. So I was encouraged to audition for it because my SAT scores were fine. I think it was like 1110 was my top. But the mean age coming in was like 1580.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck that.
Yeah.
Because I'm just such a bad test taker, man.
Yeah.
And I got in my head about it. And then I had, you know, good GPA and sports and extracurricular shit. But, you know, they were like, well, if you audition for the acting school and get in, they'll take you and then tell the school that they're taking you. And I was like, oh, man, all right, I should try for that. Because I don't know if I'm going to get in just based on my test scores. And you know, you're hoping that being a Jew is like diverse enough. You know, you're like, I got a single mom and I'm a Jew and my calves are, you know, they're on point, you know?
Yeah.
And so got in and then that's exactly what happened. They just told the school we're taking him. So that helped. That was like
cool.
the way in. But yeah, I wanted to minor and stuff. There was like a Beatles anthology class.
Wow.
I wanted to take business classes. There was like a Leonard Maltin class that basically they would show films that weren't out yet and have big time people like Spielberg.
That's pretty cool.
My buddy would always tell me, he's like, dude, I'm going to try to slip you into this one. Like, you know, AI came out, and so Spielberg came to talk about the movie.
Damn.
So the shit like that, I wish I had room to take.
That's sweet.
And I just didn't.
We had some of that. I went to Santa Barbara, so it was
my girlfriend at the time was there.
At UCSB?
Yes, and I was there every other weekend.
Did you go to party?
Dude, for the first 2 years
Halloween
that we were together, every Halloween.
Yeah. Dude, I went to the 2 Halloweens after I graduated. Like, I was disgusting.
I mean, dude, I saw people get HPV. I saw people fall off the cliff.
Yeah.
I have a very special place for that place.
Oh, that's so cool. It's my favorite place in the world.
Really?
It's my sanctuary. Sometimes I'll take a 2-day like respite and fucking turn off my phone and get a hotel out there and just bring a bunch of mushrooms and go to the beach and shit. Like, that's my spot.
Yeah,
you know,
man.
like once a year I'll do that. But UC Santa Barbara was like a research institution.
Yeah.
So we didn't do any production stuff. There was an acting major, but I didn't even know what acting was.
Because they had a little theater and
they had a theater, and they did something similar to the USC thing because they actually have a lot of people from LA that went to go teach there. So we had like showrunners come out and talk, and movie producers and execs. But it was such a research based thing that I didn't even touch a light unless I was working on a student film.
Oh, wow.
I did take a porn class though.
Yeah, of course you did.
Yeah, they had like
to
little
performer
both.
or
No, it was like a research class. It was a we would watch movies about 70s porn and like the intro to porn studies type thing.
And like compare and contrast now. Back in the day, they didn't have midget queef categories.
Yeah, back then,
it was just regular queef.
Anal play was with one finger, and the gentleman would ask. And so we would look at like how they set up scenes, what the narrative was, and how it's become manipulated like now to be like a pleasure thing.
Yeah.
It was an art if you did it a certain way.
Wow.
It was wild. Yeah, that was like the coolest
By the way,
analytical
cut to
class.
Just all the dicks, all the screams. I mean, clowns.
I mean, that room was hot.
Dude, that
was
is
a hot lecture hall.
Bonkers. Who was the teacher bringing the goodies to the table?
She was older,
Yeah.
but she had like a psychology background too, psychology and film history background.
Wow.
So there was a lot of that mixed in. Yeah, I wish I could remember more specifics,
interesting,
but it was really cool.
Yeah, I took a Love and Sex in the Ancient World class my sophomore year.
Wow.
And also interesting, but a lot about, I wish I could remember anything, but I do remember there was a lot of sexual god, goddess, big figures that were, again, I'm just drawing blanks on the whole course.
Funny,
but it was interesting at the time. How much of that were you always, for me, like even in high school, man, I was so, like my buddy and I took over the high school news program our sophomore year. And because they started putting, they had a video production class, and it was in the leadership class. And these seniors would basically do news, sports, and weather. Every Friday it was like a 5-minute thing.
Oh, cool.
They'd have, but none of them were comedians. So they'd have like one of the star basketball players was like outside, and he's like, "Today is a 20% chance of rain," and then some hot girl would dump a bucket of water on him.
Oh, sure, like
and
fun
he's like,
bits.
"Guess I got to take my shirt off," and everyone's like, "All right, it's okay, give us something to shoot for." And he's definitely banging one of the teachers, and so then they do these really loose bits that were just not filled with any sort of comedy attempt. And so my buddy and I took it over when they all graduated and made it into a sketch show that just had the news. And by the time we graduated, we made it our senior project, it was almost 20 minutes every Friday. It was 5. And some classes would not even play it because they were
high school?
Yeah. Wow. Some classes would not even play it because the teacher's like, "This is 20 minutes of class." Like it used to be a 5-minute, like, hey, there's a science club meeting on Friday.
Right.
There's a dance, get your tickets, and blah, blah, blah. And now we're doing full-on sketches. And then for
Were
a while.
you doing comedy sketches?
Oh, yeah. And we would just scroll the announcements at the end. So it was a sketch show that featured the announcements.
That's so cool.
Like we did one that would to advertise the big football game and homecoming dance.
Yeah.
So I bought all these wigs and stash, whatever, and I played basically a new football coach. And then we did this sketch about me and the pump-up speech, and then I was taking on one of the star players for like a drill. And we, did all these, slow-mo shots and, all this music and me talking shit and then getting my ass kicked and falling down and like breaking limbs and using like fake feet to throw them up. I mean, just real silly shit. And it got very popular in the school to where people wanted to be in it. People looked forward to it. But that was
that is so
I was
dope.
way more concerned with doing that than like class.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if that was, or doing videos to get out of projects.
In college. In high school, I was sports editor for the school paper.
Gotcha.
So I was still, and I was on like my dream job was Sports Center. I loved comedy and SNL, and I was
just
watching
had Steve Levy on the podcast.
Oh, did you?
Dude.
That's cool. My
Gangster.
mom went to junior high with Scott Van Pelt.
That's amazing.
Isn't that hilarious?
Also an OG.
Total OG.
Him and Levy are, Rich Eisen, Oberman, Patrick. Truly. But Levy's been there now for, I think, coming up on 30 years.
Yeah.
And you
legend.
go.
Neil
Also,
Everett is my favorite dude.
Awesome.
Yeah. How's it?
So good.
Love that guy.
To still be doing it and to kind of get all the sports is a true sign of a guy that crushes it. Wait, does your mom still keep in touch with Van Pelt?
No, I don't know. I got to ask her to try and look him up. I don't think it was high. If it was high school, it'd be different. Do you really?
I met him. I was doing Mohegan Sun, the casino with Dane Cook, and we went to play poker after and a private thing, and he was there.
Oh, no way.
And he came over to say hi to Dane, and then
That's
I chummed him
hilarious.
up, and I made him laugh right out of the gate, and then immediately I go, "I made you laugh. I feel like I could ask for your number now. See if you want to do the podcast." He's like 1,000%. He goes, "If that bombed,"
Amazing.
he goes, "I would have walked away."
Yeah.
And he was just so cool. And he he couldn't come to the show the next day because he had to do his show. But also a guy that turned.
Where's the Mohegan Sun?
Deep Connecticut.
Okay.
Like
okay.
an hour
so
from
near Bristol.
Yeah, near Bristol. Yeah. Okay, so you were sports editor.
Yeah, sports editor, and I had this cooking section in my
cool.
paper called Cooking with Brent, and I would make like all kinds of weird
You still
food.
do that now.
And I still cook, which
Yeah.
is hilarious. But I was so like Sports Center focused, and I loved the Lonely Island and like SNL and everything. And then in college, played basketball for 2 years at UC Santa Cruz, transferred to Santa Barbara, and started doing student films and like short sketches.
Yeah.
Also started writing for the paper and doing the student radio station because Sports Center was still the dream.
Yeah.
But then that all started to pivot once we made like a couple funny videos that got really popular.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, is this like a thing? Can I like make funny videos forever?
Because you don't know unless
I had no idea.
do it
Dude,
and get
comedy
any-
was like,
Yeah.
stand up was when I was like 13, I think Gary,
Sheffield.
oh, God damn.
Yeah.
What's, I can't
Famous
believe,
Major League outfielder. Yeah.
the stand-up comic with the
Yeah.
big, I can't believe I can't think
Goldman.
of his name. Gary Goldman.
Yeah.
He was like my favorite dude because
Oh,
he was
cool.
doing Last Comic Standing,
Yeah, yeah.
right? And so I was writing stand-up when I was like
So
13 just for fun.
Yeah, yeah.
But I didn't even consider it until I turned 23 again. And that's when I moved to LA. And to your point before where you said when LA is firing on all cylinders,
Yeah.
dude, when I moved to LA in 2012 and I did my first open mic in like 2013 or 14, it was popping, dude. It was like,
Yeah.
you never know who could walk in.
Yeah. That was kind of just when I remember. I think I got passed at the store in 2012, actually.
Nice.
And yeah, I remember it just kind of starting to get
It was crazy.
exciting.
Yeah.
And then I think Rogan came back to the store.
Not long after that, right?
I want to say 2015.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, stand up was going through a really cool
It was such
pop.
a cool
and
thing.
in LA because
Yeah, and for me, coming from sports, it was like I was so stoked. I didn't know who was gonna pop in any night. It could be like Brent Morin or Dalia or Fahim or you or all these dudes that were like a class or two ahead of me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I just didn't like. And you were the guys that I knew of,
Right.
that weren't like mainstream.
Yeah, that
A-list
were
names.
that made you feel like it was attainable.
Yeah,
Because you're like,
exactly.
oh, we got similar sensibilities. They're
Yeah.
not totally household names yet, but they're like, and you're seeing the grind. So
and I'm
you're
seeing that dude bomb, but he's on a TV show, and I'm like, you can be on a TV show and not do well in front of 200 people.
That's valuable.
And still like just laugh it off.
Yeah.
What the fuck? And that like, dude, I was so driven from that. Like
Wow.
those first couple of years.
Yeah.
I think I did. I kept a spreadsheet of it because I was so psycho in my first 2 years. I was doing like 4 or 5 a night.
Yeah.
5 or 6 nights a week for 2 years straight.
That's the other thing too.
It was
a
wild.
lot of mics started popping up
Everywhere.
You know, more
Yeah.
shows, more Nerd Melt or Meltdown, and
Every coffee shop.
coffee shops, and now even since the pandemic, there's this great show in the round at Hollywood and Whitley called Supernova, and this one I just did last night in Burbank called Nightcap, and this is a great place where outdoor shows can exist. I think, and post pandemic, I think too, because
Oh, it's gonna explode, dude.
yeah,
It's gonna
backyard
explode.
shows. There's so many good ones.
Yeah. You know what's funny is I go on the road, and I've been doing road shows. I've even been doing road shows during the pandemic.
Yeah.
I was opening for JP.
Yeah,
Sears,
of course.
And his audience don't give no fucks. So it's fun to go out and like be on the road and meet all these people. But they would always ask me after shows. They'd be like, "So when are you getting out of California? Must be terrible out there." And I've shit on California quite a bit.
Of course.
But like,
How do you feel
I ain't
now?
leaving. I feel the same way now as I always have.
Yeah.
I've never even thought of moving. I will never leave California
and
unless it's like somewhere else for a cool opportunity.
For a cool job,
But,
yeah. I mean, look, man, why shouldn't there be another city that's got a cool stand-up scene?
Yeah, let Austin thrive
Like
too.
for a while it was New York, Chicago, LA, and even Seattle at a point. And yeah, like why shouldn't there be more opportunities? I just think there's so much here all the time. And also, even when I was in Austin for about maybe almost 10 days, it was cool doing a bunch of shows, being at a point to where I could go to most places and go up.
Yeah.
But other than shows, Real Human, I picked up something called Cedar Fever, which is like, I didn't even know what it was.
What is that?
I just woke up and my head felt like it was going to pop off my fucking neck. And I
What?
was so congested and everyone was so casual, like Cedar Fever.
Was this in Texas?
Yeah, like insane allergies. And I don't even think I
Whoa.
have regular allergies.
That's wild.
And by the way, the way you said that and then looked at the computer made me feel like a radio DJ that's not fully attentive, but was also checking the time, but also checking for the sound effect to play The way you go, that's wild. That's wild. Oh, that's whoa, wild Pella time.
Wild Pella in the mornings.
Oh my god.
Followed by Rick and Steve.
You could have totally. That's a sketch we should actually
That's a
write.
good one.
Is us as a morning DJ.
Dude, morning DJ characters are so fun.
I know.
I
Have
would
you ever
love to
done
do
one?
that. Never.
Okay, let's
would
do that.
love to.
Because we would crush that.
100%.
And we've both been a part of that, and that's a very. I guess it's kind of a niche thing, but everyone knows those guys because they've been played.
They know the cliche because everybody's driven during the morning at some point.
And listen to the radio.
Yeah.
I mean, and
do you still do morning radio shows when you're on the road?
I have to do a call in for Atlanta Punchline tomorrow
What
morning.
time?
I mean, I'm flying tonight,
Okay.
and I'll land at like 6. So it's gonna be at 9.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I don't mind them. I don't. There's a one called KUPD in Arizona, which is almost like the Stern for Arizona, and it's the best. I'm always on for an hour. I've gotten to know them so well. The host, John Holmberg, is a fucking hilarious dude that is truly so quick and will let me do my thing. But, dude, it's like he loves me because, he doesn't have to drive the ship and carry the whole load. But our back and forth is great. He yes-ands everything. If I do just kind of come up short on something, we're right. There's no dead air.
Yeah, they're really good at that. No dead air.
You can say like dick, bitch, which is awesome.
Oh, that's fun.
Just be like, that guy was a dick bitch, He was a fucking bitch dick, and all sorts of combos. And he had to hit the drop button a couple times because I was talking about being a fat kid, and we pulled up this picture of me with Kendall Gill courtime.
Yes, legendary.
With the weird.
Amazing
handle.
photo. Yeah,
amazing,
love it.
I definitely look like a 1990s lesbian.
Yep.
And I'm so fat, and I'm in this Venice sweatshirt, and it looks like they said if you can eat all these meatballs, 60 meatballs, we'll give you the Venice
Give you the
sweatshirt. And before they could say sweatshirt, I was wiping my mouth from the 59th meatball. And so I talked about I was like being a fat kid wasn't all that bad, and I was like, I fucking had tits before any other girl, and they had to hit the drop button
on the word tits.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
And then he's like, and then they went through all the words you can say besides that. And I was like, should I have said bosom or whatever? And he's like, even sweater meat would have been fine. And I was like,
way.
And it was
That's disgusting.
Totally. I was like, I feel like tits is like way better than that.
Way better than sweater meat.
Also, sweater meat is so pervy, and it's like there are guys out there though. When he said it, I go, oh, for sure. Because at this stage in life, when you go, wow, that's crazy, there's got to be somebody who that's not crazy for.
No, does
that make sense?
Yeah.
Or fetish, but also somebody out there being like, that girl got a bait. Her sweater meat is exactly what I want. Put it up on the George Foreman grill. Yeah. Take my wiener.
Let me put my bitch dick in there.
My bitch dick in between her sweater meat. Yeah, dude, that's like a normal thing for some people out there.
Right.
But those guys are awesome. But there's so much of the radio where they don't do any research, which is fine, man. But you get to a point too where you're like, done some cool shit. Like you don't have any topics of conversation to ask. Even if I could tell you did the bare min, I've got a story for everything, and I'll take it from there. If you just at least set me up.
Yeah.
But man, I've done some where they just like clueless, and then you just be a pro and take it from there and go, all right, I got to take the wheel and DJ the radio and jerk off the guy who I gave a ride to just so I can get a free, I don't know, bag of Sun Chips, improv stuff. But
a free bag of meatballs.
Bag of meatballs.
Yeah, let's do. I would love to do that.
Right?
That. What's your schedule like? Though? You got like 10 podcasts right now.
I got mine, and then I got the one with Chuck Liddell.
You started one with Chuck Liddell.
Yeah.
How did that start?
Another Santa Barbara
so
boy.
Unexpected.
Yeah, so unexpected. Yeah. Went to college, fuck, this is my new podcast partner. I'm blowing it.
Ah, fuck.
I think he's from San Luis Obispo.
Oh, he is.
Yes.
I know that.
Yes.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, man. A mutual friend of ours hit me up and was like, because I was doing a podcast with Mark Sanchez for a little bit called Fourth and Forever, and it was awesome because it was a sports comedy. It was going to be a real, and it was, show that had more of the comedy, I think, any sports fan would want, where you get a guy who knows X's and O's, and then you get a guy that's going to bust Deshaun Watson's balls, or give Sam Darnold. I mean, we had Miles Teller. We had so many great people on.
Yeah.
and Mark loosened up. He's a funny guy, but having somebody there to let him to kind of neutralize the situation and make the athletes know right out of the gate, like, oh, you can have a good time. Like, you don't have to. This isn't post-game interview status. And Mark would lighten up from that. So we ended up developing a really good rapport. And then Showtime Sports was just like, man, we just want to be straight X's and O's. And Mark, to his credit, was very pissed and drunk and called me and was like, dude, fuck this. I'm not doing it without you. Ride or die. Goonies never say die. What would Rex Bryan do?
Right.
And I was like, dude, you do work with them outside of this. You got to just, I appreciate the sentiment, but like, it is what it is. And that was a bummer. But doing that and kind of being partnered with an athlete gave this guy, grounds to think I could do it with Chuck. And I'm a very casual UFC fan. And we got on the phone. I was like, well, I should at least just sell myself on it and take a stab at doing one.
Yeah.
And he dug it. And then we started doing it. And he's gotten to be real comfy with the mic. Still have to drive the ship on it.
Is it a UFC-based podcast?
Like no, I mean, we've had guests on the first, or
is it kind of anything?
We haven't totally gotten yet to the point to where I think on the next episode, we're going to start taking like fan questions and things like that.
Oh, sweet.
But the first 5 we did were, or 2 before we had Dana White on, were just Chuck and I getting to know each other and shooting the shit. And talking a lot of fight stuff, but a lot of bullshit too, because we didn't want it to just be like fight predictions and things like that.
Yeah. Because you don't want it to be inside baseball.
No, and I don't think Chuck wants that. He's like, I'll talk that. He's like, but I'm always doing that. So, But also for me, it's nice because I am bringing the casual, when we actually just had Anderson Silva on.
Cool.
And, we Zooming with him, and it was dope. And I was watching a clip of him and Forrest Griffin, who I wrote down his name wrong and put Boris Griffin. So I'm like, nah, Anderson, I saw this clip where like you knock down Boris Griffin, right? And like, but then you let him get up and you dab him and then you fucking finish him Mortal Kombat style. Like, and Chuck's just looking at me like, and I go, what? And then there's a producer being like, Forrest. And I go, what did I say? And Chuck's like, you really just say Boris Griffin? And I go, I don't know. I think you just heard that. But anyway, so Anderson, when you were fighting Lois Griffin, dude, was Peter there? And did Quagmire give her any pep talk? And then he starts laughing. And so like,
that's great, dude.
Yeah, so I'm able to like acknowledge and poke fun at the fact that I'm, no is, and I think it's nice too for him because Chuck's like, I'm always very heady and talking about it. So it's cool for me to really be like, what is a kick to the face? What's the best spot to do it? Could I fight now? Like, so we're really keeping it light. And he's, again, getting really comfortable, which is cool. To bust balls.
He seems like he would be, he's in the commercials
teddy bear
I've seen
too,
him in, he seems like fun and funny.
Totally.
He comes off as like a Shaq type guy.
Yes.
Like
and great
he's got
stories.
comedy in him, but even though he's like a big, powerful, crazy
and even Shaq
dude.
wasn't super comfy behind the mic right out of the gate. So it's a process. But it's fun and different. And it's just one of those like, why not things? Like, so, and now it's turned into something though. But look, with that comes also like, stand-up podcasts.
Dude, you have more going on than almost anyone I know. You got the multiple podcasts, touring stand-up, voiceover stuff. Congrats on the Young Rock show.
Oh, thanks.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
So
got a season 2, so hopefully next time you see me, my arms will
and you're playing McMahon?
Have a separate chair. Vince McMahon,
right?
yeah.
That's sweet. That is
it's cool. I'm actually hopefully going to see DJ this weekend.
Sweet. Have you met him in person yet?
No.
Oh, cool.
We just chatted a bunch on the phone, texted,
nice.
A couple Zoom table reads, but yeah, and I don't like to assume anything. I've had years where I was on one year when it was Mad TV was on. Mm-hmm. I was playing, so I was sketch. I was playing the manager on my friend Joey McIntyre's single camp show, loosely based on his life, like a curb style show from the New Kids on the Block. So it was playing his manager and just kind of, an acting job. And then I was hosting this game show with Eliza Schlesinger on TBS. All 3 were so fun, so different, and so like, all these are going 4 years minimum. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The game show's crushing for TBS. They play it in bars before the Final Four. Joey Mack with his fan base and Pop TV was trying to get off the ground. They had Schitt's Creek looking for other shows. Yep. And Mad TV, I'm like,
it's Mad TV. It's a brand. It's a worldwide brand.
It's an institution. Why would they bring it back for a one and done? Right. And I mean, the next year, all gone.
All gone.
So truly, man, I am so.
Dude. What a great. Were you already? Did you?
And I'm over it. I'm over it. By the way.
Oh, for sure. That's why you brought it up. It's just to make sure everybody knows that you're fucking over it. Going into all those things, did you already have the sense of like, hey, whatever happens, happens. I'm just happy for the opportunity.
Yes.
Or did this help?
No. I mean, yes.
Condition that even more.
Yes, because there's been things prior to that were like promised and not followed through. Or you also just can't help but let yourself get excited, and you should. Even to this day, I'm like, dude, manage expectations, but like this should all be fun. So if there's a prospect of something, like get excited about it. Like this I just got this job on the Pam and Tommy Lee Hulu show that Seth Rogen's producing.
Oh, cool.
And I don't know if I could say who I'm playing. It's just in a few episodes, but I wanted it so bad because I love Seth Rogen. The show seems so cool, and I know I could do this part so well. And I more so than other things in the past was just like couldn't let it go how much I wanted it.
Yeah.
And then I just finally did. And then like my buddy I saw at the show the other day, he told me they offered it to somebody, which by the way I would come to find out was me. And and also acting is what I came here for. And those things are like podcasting, VO, stand up, awesome. Like truly feeding the beast, and so can't imagine life without any of those.
So the beast
but
is
acting, dude, yeah, man. So it's like that's what's truly gives me I don't know, fills the void. You know, more so, but also now they're all synonymous. I mean, you can attest to this stand up. I cannot imagine not doing it. And it's like, as you're growing your presence, with all your dope content, it's only going to stand up is just right there. So you got to keep sharp there.
It's all interwoven at this point for sure. Yeah.
But again, like managing expectations, but allowing yourself, like also so then when I got it, I was like, really excited. And then I found myself quicker than normal being like, all right, it's just a job, dude. Like fucking do it and crush it. And then I was like, no, fuck that. Like be excited. Cause then you got to ride those highs. Yeah. There's so much no's. That's a fucking, did he graduate? There's so much no's.
There's so much no's.
Edit that out. Put it at the top for the cold open. There's so much no's, and then just put my name and my Instagram handle.
Adam Ray. So much no's.
And then put watch if you dare. All right. There's so many. There's so much rejection and just thick skin you have to develop pretty quick because it is what you think it is out here, right? Like, I mean, we've both been through
rejection
it. And
is so it never will not hurt to have somebody say no to
I've
you.
rubbed off on you. See that? You were struggling. You were like, it never
not.
You need to
hurt.
Be a
Brent Pella. It never not hurt no more. Live from
dude. Stop right there and write that down. If that's not your special title, our friendship is over.
It never not no hurt no more.
Never not no hurt no more. Oh my god, dude! I'm not even joking, dude. That's so
live from the garden.
That's get her done adjacent. It never not hurt no more.
It never not no hurt no more.
Oh my god!
But it never doesn't hurt.
Yes,
it always hurts.
Yes, there you go.
It always hurts.
That's clever.
But not in a way that should make somebody cry in a closet with a bottle of Kahlua.
No.
We've done that before.
Yes.
We're past that.
And you should do that. And you should have those moments where it fucking burns.
Well, that's part of being human, dude. Yeah. To me, the whole experience of being out
when you do that?
Dude, I'm fucking telling you, bro. Like that, to me, those emotions, those such like strong fucking emotions, whether it's like awesome, super happy, the lowest you can be.
Yeah. Got to feel them all.
There's a lot of like, being human is just letting yourself feel those moments. Yeah. I've been in the darkest, deepest fucking hole and crying and with the darkest thoughts ever. Yeah. I've been on the highest high that I've had in life. Like I've had all of those, and I'm so grateful for those. And it's taken some training and practice to try to not brush them away.
And also not to stew on them for too long.
And not to stew on them for too long.
Like
Either one.
Enjoy the
you
good
have
stuff.
To find the balance. Yeah. Otherwise, you're either going to end up jaded as fuck and not caring about anything, and you're going to be the nihilist from the Big Lebowski, or you're going to be running around like thinking you're on top of the world and you have the biggest ego, and then that only turns you into like a shitty person that people don't like. Do you have anything that you work on, whether it's like meditation, anything like that keeps you level-headed?
I honestly... I still have not been to therapy, and I probably should. I mean, like, I was peer mediating. Never been?
Never been, actually.
Yeah, I was peer mediating between my mom and sister when I was, like, 8. Like, them being in each other's, like, folks split at that point. Sisters started kind of just be the, by default, I think I was the good kid because I just saw how much stress she was causing my mom. And then also just not wanting people to be happy and make the best of it is always, I think, something I've just had. So I just would go separately to each room and kind of figure it out, talk to them, come back and smooth it over so I could go to bed happy. And so I could be in a house that was, I just didn't want that. And I was class clown at school, but at home I was not. Like, I know people that are like, oh man, I was the entertainment for Thanksgiving, always made. My mom didn't even know, like when I even started doing stand-up, she was like, what? Like, she's like, I know you're an actor and you do this, but she's like, funny, I haven't seen that shit at home. And then, once you start seeing your parents as people and not parents, I'm like, oh, for sure, both mom and dad, especially mom, like, so funny and so sharp, and I'm bummed out I didn't like allow myself to be open to more of that, like as I was in middle school and high school when my mom and I were together, because my sister was at an all-girls school. So that's when my mom and I became best friends and also enemies, because it was like, can you wash my jersey for basketball tomorrow? But then like, give me some space, I'm a man, you know? Like that push and pull of like, I need you, but
dude, I grew up
you.
with a single mom. That's what my life was like.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very similar, dude.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It is just a continuing process of like allowing yourself to get fired up for the good stuff. But I have always, just to get back to the therapy thing, just figured it out for myself. And having friends and, lovers or my mom, people to chop it up with, is important. And I think through that, but I also, and maybe this is for better or for worse, always just been like, not wanting to burden anyone, and not that, therapy is that, but that's kind of how I was, I think, approaching it. And I got scarred when my mom put me into like a divorce therapy thing early on, and the guy had a little hoop up on his wall, and I would always shoot hoops and not talk to him. And I remember one day it bounced off right to him, and he caught the offensive rebound with one hand and goes, "You want to tell me why your dad fucked someone else?" No, he didn't say that, but for the joke he did. But he definitely, yeah, that's a cold open.
That's a cold open for sure.
But he definitely caught the ball and definitely was like, "Why don't you sit down and talk about why you missed that shot?" And why your mom missed the shot with your dad's love, whatever, again, I'm paraphrasing.
Yeah.
But I didn't like talking to a stranger about that. Yeah. So I think that turned me off from it. And then I just figure it out for yourself. And so that's even in business, life. I mean, I've had people close to me to unload on. Yeah. But even my mom, when I was writing with Andrew Santino on Punk'd, the new Justin Bieber Punk'd. It was like the first real big thing where I was like, holy shit, man. I interview with Jason, who created the show with Kutcher, and was so like, man, here we go. Like, I'm going to run this new thing, probably get to pop in and be, and I adored that show growing up.
Yeah, totally.
And then something happened. I think it was writer's strike, actually, maybe. Something happened where they hit the reset button. My boy Santino stuck around because he was tight with everybody there, and lost it. I remember calling my mom, just so distraught, and she just was like, yeah, well, you can fucking cry about it, or like, what do you, tell me, don't you have that video you're shooting tomorrow? Oh yeah, then put all your shit onto that. This is, and it really helped me understand that, like, being busy, which is why I think, again, for better or for worse, having so many things going on, I enjoy and thrive off of. I wish I could get to a point to where, and I have people in my life tell me like, hey man, pick a couple things and just crush those. And I'm like, but this is how I've always done it.
Do you want to get to that point?
This is how I've always done it, is to do multiple things. And because I feel like I have put in the necessary time for all of them. I'm not shortchanging any of them.
Right.
So yeah, it's like
you don't feel like you're spreading yourself too thin.
No.
Yeah.
But this is also looking from the outside in. Then you can make the argument, well, why haven't you been on a regular on a show that's gone 5 seasons? It's like, but I'm like, well, there's a lot of other factors at stake. Yeah. I know the jobs I've lost out and why I've lost them. Mm-hmm. But then I don't know. But then it's like, I look at like my boy Adam Devine, who's like, did stand up and then kind of stopped, and then crushed TV and movies. Yeah. And went back to stand up, and now is like not really doing stand up. And I don't even know if that's. I don't think it bothers them at all, Mm-hmm. But I don't know, man. It's just vote, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Get out and vote. Make sure that you check the box that, coordinates with your passions.
Jenner West 2024.
Brody Jenner?
No, Caitlyn.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Jenner West.
Jenner West, yeah.
Brody Jenner.
Oh,
yeah, she's running.
Yeah.
Fucking who knows, man.
Dude, I mean, crazy time.
Real quick, though, I do want to know what celeb. By the way, we could do a 4-hour podcast.
Oh,
this was awesome.
We could keep going. We're almost done, though, yeah? You got a jet?
Is that cool?
Of course. Yeah.
I'm going to call my Uber while we close it out.
Okay, cool.
But who would you legit vote for, celeb-wise? I'm not talking Trump, Schwarzenegger. I'm talking when people joke about The Rock or I don't know, Sam Rockwell,
Matthew McConaughey.
Wow.
He's running for governor of Texas. And he described himself as like a hardcore centrist.
Yes.
And I always call myself alt middle.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm far middle.
Yeah.
Because there's like, I'm so spread out. I'm still learning a million things.
I know.
Like,
That's the thing, too, is that you go, I don't know all the shit yet. So
I don't know all the shit. Dude, I don't know a fraction of the shit.
Yeah,
and
so
people come at you like, bro, you didn't know that the governor of South Dakota takes little orphan babies from Africa and fucking takes their fingernails and sells them? Like, that's some deep state stuff, dude.
That
I'm
is.
like, no,
I
missed
that, though,
that
by the
meme.
way. I did
of
know
course
that.
you did.
Yeah.
I did not. Until
Or the
a month
people that
ago.
are like, Tom Hanks, man. Big. The movie Big. What's that all about? Real comfy playing a kid. And you're like,
what?
I mean,
Tom Hanks just moved to Greece. Coincidence?
Oh, and got a fucking sponsorship with Dan and Yogurt.
Whoa.
Which is opposite of the Greek yogurt. Who is the Greek yogurt people?
The Mykonos.
Yeah. So trying to, disguise.
You ever seen a satellite image of Mykonos, of the Mykonos
Hilarious.
Islands?
Yeah.
Looks kind of like Wilson.
Yeah. Tom Hanks,
saying.
everything.
Just saying,
I mean,
dude.
I know. Ronald McDonald did not start 9/11, and you're like, all right, man. Now I'm intrigued.
Yeah. The McConaughey episode on Rogan was cool. I think
we're going to have him on, by the way, because Chuck's home.
Amazing. Yeah, that's super cool.
And that's where you go, all right, this is cool, because and I have to push him to be like, yo, go through the phone. But Rogan, McConaughey, is a fascinating dude.
Yeah, really
and
interesting.
I think also I was turned off, but then also inspired by his speech when he was like, I once asked myself, who is my hero 5 years from now?
That's a good McConaughey.
It's my McConaughey is
like
other people's. I don't pride myself on it. It's like my Pacino,
What's your Pacino?
Brent Pella show. All right. I'll take a garden salad. Croutons on the side. You know what I'm saying? I actually did it on Corolla by accident, just because I was like, hey, man, comedy's about going for it, throwing darts. It came up. I was like, this will be a fun riff, and did it. And I am very good at not reading comments.
Oh, good.
Recently.
I'm awful.
Yeah, gotta stop doing it.
Gotta stop.
But I did it on this one because I was getting some nice feedback.
Yeah.
And so I just went to the video of it. And then the feedback I was getting through the phone was not on the YouTube page. And it was all about, why'd you try that Pacino, man? You fucking... And also, stick to what you know to do. And
no way.
Truly, and I'm just like,
dude.
I even said it wasn't good. I even was doing it and being like, yo, I just, you know what I'm saying? But also I trusted to be like, I'm just trying to have a good time. Man. So, but McConaughey, anyway, when he said his hero would be himself in 5 years, and then after that, I say, who would your hero be in 5 years? I don't know who that was. I think it was Colonel Sanders.
Definitely.
Caitlyn Jenner. Wow. I'd be my hero in 5 years.
That's not a bad Caitlyn Jenner. Yeah.
But he does have a lot of the right elements to someone that I think could be in a leadership role.
Yeah. That's the thing is so many elected leaders don't have leadership qualities. Yeah. And it sucks.
Just show that scene of McConaughey in Wolf of Wall Street. He doesn't just show that.
Yeah.
Before every.
That's the campaign ad. Is that scene?
Oh my god.
Paid for by McConaughey.
And then it ends. Paid for by Mahogany.
Mahogany.
By McConaughey. And then the button for the campaign ad, because every campaign ad needs a button.
Needs a good button.
It's just him leaning on the car and Dazed and Confused, going, all right.
Yes.
I mean,
how does he not win every election?
It's all about popularity.
100%.
We know this.
We're in an age of a popularity contest.
It's no different than elementary school. I ran against Caitlin Peck.
What year?
5th grade, 1994.
Okay. Yep.
She gave a great speech. It was the primaries before you get to the big school assembly where you run for vice president. I walked around after her speech with Keebler's fudge striped cookies. I walked around going, that was a great speech by Caitlin. Now, as we all know...
No way. Yeah, dude, that's so good.
And won. And by the way, I was doing it as a goof because I told my buddy, I was like, how funny it would be if I just handed out cookies.
Yeah.
It was in 5th grade, just being like, the
that's
comedic
so
side,
good.
just being
that's
like,
such a
this
funny
is so funny to
dude.
walk out and pretend to be and be like, recess, it's not long enough. You can have two. It's not long enough. I think milkshake machines aren't talked about, and we can get them in the bathrooms. Have you seen how big these stalls are?
Yeah.
Enjoy. And so I think, And I won. And Caitlin
amazing.
Was
I won in
fucking
8th grade.
fired
I was
up.
8th grade president because I promised to
Wow.
put more nets on the
course you
outdoor
did.
basketball hoops.
That's a legit promise. did
And
you follow
I
through?
followed through 100%. Yeah.
Also, by the way, no. But look, the elementary school b-ball nets were never refurbished. It was always like,
No.
they were like, we got 5 nets for 20 years. You're like, who
Right.
did you make this deal with?
right.
Do you know how to bargain?
Yeah.
And, but that is huge because
Yep.
especially at the start of the school year, they put them up to start the school year. And then, you
They
come back the
dissolve
next
in the
year.
rain.
Yeah, man.
It's like, where are you guys getting these nets?
And you got to have nets versus chains. Chains were cool. There was
I
always
love
a couple
chains
hoops with
on
chains.
like neighborhood hoop.
Yes.
On a neighborhood hoop, it's like I felt like I'm playing in Space
sounds-
Jam, dude.
oof.
There's nothing better.
I know.
There's
From a
nothing
good
better.
one, too, where
A
it
good one,
hits
yeah,
and
yeah.
where you swish and it goes right through.
Yeah, if it's a bad chain net, it sounds like you're in prison.
Yeah.
And then, that's a
Flashbacks,
Little,
yeah.
flashbacks. Yeah.
I wasn't even holding
As a
soap.
child,
You're like, well, that's not what you think. We'll be right back. We'll keep it here. Yeah.
Guys, Adam Ray, where do people follow you?
Adam Ray Comedy on Instagram and Twitter. AdamRayComedy.com for the tour dates. About Last Night podcast. Icebreakers podcast with Chuck Liddell. I'm on the show Hacks right now on HBO Max. On it, 2 episodes. They drop, I think, in 3 weeks. It's a great show from the people of Parks and Rec and Broad City. And then my albums, Read the Room and
Yes.
I'll Take It From
Albums,
Here,
yes.
are out on all the places to get albums. And
touring. Go
touring.
see him live.
AdamRayComedy.com.
Go see
Tons
him
of
live.
tour dates all over.
Cool. We'll do it again. Love you, bro.
Love you, bud.
Cool. Hell yeah, baby. Hope you guys enjoyed that show. Adam Ray, hell of a dude. Follow him, support him forever. Love him as you would love your own. And I love you. Blueblocks.com/Brent. Thank you to the sponsors. Bioptimizers. Magnesiumbreakthrough.com/Brent Pella. And thank you for listening still, because y'all keep it going. All right? Keep the train moving, baby. Support Adam, support me, support the sponsors, so that they can support me, so that I can support you. We could all support each other mentally and physically. If you trip and fall in my vicinity, I will try my best to catch you. Okay? Until next time, drink some water. Bye-bye.